Last Thursday, a bill went into Congress, HR25, the 116th Congress, 2019 through 2020, and it says as follows: to promote freedom, fairness and economic opportunity by repealing the income tax and other taxes, abolishing the Internal Revenue Service and enacting a national sales tax to be administered primarily by the states individual, not states collective. That bill is what our team have been working on since August, September time. Finally now it has its platform. Will it pass the voting system? Time will tell. But every American will know that those who vote against it are working for the cabal. No ifs, no buts, they just are. By voting against it, they're voting to protect the elite system run by the Rothschilds et al. But is that what the American people want? Surely the American people will want an end to income tax. Some won't. Some like the slavery suit, as we all know. Now I'm going to make a call out to everyone in the alt media and wider circles to support and highlight this bill. It's imperative. We must raise public awareness on this item alone here in America. And those that don't choose to highlight it on their pages, shows, YouTubes or blogs, once aware of the facts, are not working for we the people. They're just not. Let's see how far it travels. Who wouldn't want to pay bogus taxes? And they are bogus. These taxes are the very funds that are being used against us via black budget programs, buying up all kinds of businesses, creating fake foundations to funnel money. All that money belongs to Americans, if that money is to be dispersed, not Rothschilds, like the IRS sending 780 billion to the Swiss Rothschilds Bank last year. That's our money, not theirs. It's not the government's money either. It's the American people's money. And yet not 1 cent of that income tax since 1934 has been given back to the American people. Oops. Now you'll often hear people say, if you don't pay your taxes, we won't get any services. Rarely is my answer. Have you not noticed the levels of services that have been going down over the last 2 decades, never mind your whole lifetime? So that agency script rhetoric doesn't wash. Well, it shouldn't anyway. Now, we've spent many months upon request, and we were requested for it, for tax reform, and the gist is eliminating the illegal, and it is illegal. As part of the Constitution, we should not be paying taxes on our wages. Now, they can't publicly deny the original Constitution is not in place, as they would then have to admit the real facts that the organic Constitution, which everyone cites, amendment this and amendment that, was ended in 1871. So no American, average American anyway, has ever been alive under the real Constitution. No average American has ever been alive under an American government either. Both of them ended in 1871. And then you've got the fact that income tax is not a tax at all, but it's a voluntary, yes I did say that correctly, voluntary tribute to the Crown, which is in the City of London. So much for American independence. Another one of his stories, not ours. Now the Crown is nothing to do with the Queen, it's nothing to do with London, and it's actually nothing to do with the UK either, and everything to do with the square mile separate principality that's located in the City of London, and it's run by the Rothschilds family. Essentially, it's a square mile of pirates, except they commit acts of piracy over the whole planet. Now, the gist of the plan that we put forward is to remove the IRS, which is not a tax office, but is a trust group operating via the Federal Reserve for and by the Crown out of Puerto Rico, and to move the office back onto the American mainland and put it back into the real tax office, which is not the IRS, that was deleted from the history in 1930s known as the Tax and Revenue Service. That will be reinstalled. Now, only the top-end criminals in the IRS will lose their jobs in this transfer. So people who work for the IRS shouldn't be concerned. It's the criminals at the top that will lose their jobs. They will not be transferred. And it will eliminate all taxes on your wages entirely. What will be implemented is a 10% spending tax. It will also eliminate all federal taxes. Remember, the IRS are only a collection agency for and on behalf of the Federal Reserve. They're not a tax office. So your taxes, federal taxes that are on your property taxes, your home, car, flood and other vehicles, insurance bills, your cable and phone bills and some other bills will all be eliminated. So it will benefit all people. In the tax cuts that Trump put in recently, some are claiming, the rich will get away with it, and the media portrays it that way. What people don't know is Trump initiated a new tax in that bill of 21% tax on all millionaire shareholders that are operating under the banner of a foundation. Oops. This will raise substantial funds for the Treasury, which will be the real Treasury and not the 5 or 6 other Treasury named shell companies that have existed since the 1930s. As America has not been receiving any benefits from income taxes, nothing will be lost and everything will be gained, and the taxes generated will go to America only, not the pirates of the Federal Reserve or the Crown. The trust have worked out within 3 to 5 years, America will become self-sufficient for the first time ever and will not require the trust to input funds further, apart from the people's projects. America will not deliberately run out of funds each year via the fake budget, which was deliberately designed that way. So the country ran out of money, and then it went to the Federal Reserve and had to borrow from the Federal Reserve at a cost of 10% per dollar borrowed. 10% on every dollar borrowed. So when they take all the tax money and it doesn't go to the country is programmed to be short in the budget, so that the country then has to borrow off the Federal Reserve, license to print money, and you can thank your Congress back in the early 1900s for their treasonous acts, along with the clowns, J.P. Morgan, Carnegie's, Ford Institute, Rockefellers, etc., robber barons. So this is what's been going on, and it's time we all got behind it, not just Americans, because the Fed charges every country who has to use dollars, which is around 186 countries, I believe, 10% for every dollar they need as well. So most countries, well, all countries will benefit from this change of action, because if there's no Federal Reserve, then those individual countries can create their own treasuries, not Federal Reserve, not fake Federal Reserves like Citibank in Africa or Wells Fargo in South America, operating as the Federal Reserve. Turf them out. Create your own national bank, which is what America will do, and the Treasury will print the money, likely at 2 or 3%, may even be lower. If it's 5%, people have saved half on what they borrow. So every country will be up in air, thinking we only have to pay 5% now, not 10. Well, for those that worry they won't get the refund and so don't want to change the system, my response is, 1, please stop thinking about yourself. This is an all-inclusive transition. It's not just about you and your refund. And 2, nobody will lose their refunds. Nobody. 3, many will have their debts to the IRS deleted, reassessed, or restructured. In most cases, I imagine it's going to be the former. 4, it will end the IRS harassment and garnishing wages. So I request all who listen to this and get this portion out to every single alt media channel or blog. Let's highlight HR25. This brings their system down. This puts more money in your pocket, not theirs. Why would you want to keep carrying on paying that to your slave masters so they can enslave you further? So the ones that vote against it are all working for the cabal. Every last one of them. Get it out to your friends, get it out to your family, and more importantly, let your senators know you vote against this, and we know you're working for the criminal elites, and we will force you out of office. This is not about party politics. This is about every American and every other country that uses dollars, and it's all about ending a very, very corrupt system. And I hope people get behind that. I really do.